The new year is just around the corner, and as we all know, it is time for everybody to go on their new year, new me spiel again. And while I absolutely hate this concept, at least it provides some people with some optimism, albeit lasting for about 2 weeks. And while everybody's so obsessed with getting skinnier, losing weight, the whole domain of getting stronger and building muscle is completely overlooked for completely false reasons. People don't want to get bulky or stiff, but they don't actually understand the implications of being under-muscled or the benefits of having a certain amount of muscle on their frame. So whether you're a skinny guy or girl who desperately wants to put 10-15 pounds on their frame, or somebody who just wants to get stronger and more functional, then this video is perfect for you. Because I'm going to be talking about 3 tactical steps towards putting on 10 pounds of muscle in the new year of 2025. So sit back, relax, take some notes if you have to, and let's get straight into it. So the first and most important concept is understand that you have to be in a caloric surplus. Now, although you've probably heard this term about 1,000,000 times, for some reason you guys still can't wrap your head around it because you, for some reason, think it's something else. So for that reason, I'm going to be going over the concept again. Quite simply put, you have to be eating more calories than you burn in a given day. You have to be in a state that we call hypercaloric. So how do you calculate how much you need to eat? Well, you can simply go on an online calculator and click on the first link. That's super simple. Or what you can do is take your body weight, multiply it by 15, and then add 150 to 300 calories on top of that. So for example, if you weigh 150 pounds, times it by 15 plus, let's just say 200. This will give you 2450. Obviously customize this based on your weight, but really simple stuff for you. Once you've established this number, the next biggest problem that most people encounter is how the hell do I take in those many calories in a given day? Because chances are, if you are that skinny, you either have a super fast metabolism or you have an appetite issue that struggles to keep up with that metabolism. So here's 3 steps to make getting those calories in a lot easier. Number 1, eat more fats. The reason why I say this is because fats have 9 calories per gram, which is the most out of any macronutrient, and they can easily be added into your diet without even realizing. So healthier fats, including olive oil, avocados, peanut butter, grass-fed butter, almonds, walnuts, other dry fruits, they're super easy to take in, and they're very calorie dense, allowing you to get a lot more calories in your diet. The second strategy is meal size. So figuring out what meal size works best for you. If you are somebody with a smaller stomach, you probably want to stick to more frequent, smaller meals throughout the day. But if you're like myself, who has a massive dump pit of a stomach, I usually stick to bigger, less frequent meals throughout the day. Whatever works for you, neither one is better than the other. Just stick to what works best for you and what works best for your stomach. And the third is having a balance. It is super easy to get caught up in the fitness influencer land where everybody tells you to eat grass-fed, whole, organic foods every single day and every single meal. But here's the thing. When you are trying to gain weight, you're trying to get more calories in. And while all these natural whole foods are fantastic for you, they fill you up a lot more. And they're usually lowering calories as well, which is great for a lot of people. But if you are trying to gain some weight, not necessarily. So sticking to the 70-30 or 80-20 rule, where 70 or 80% of your foods come from the natural whole foods, and the rest of the 20-30% you can play around for calorie purposes and for sustainability purposes, that is going to be your best bet. Not only for you enjoying the whole process, but also for you actually gaining the weight, because at the end of the day, you need calories. The second tip is going to be giving yourself 8 to 12 months. On average, we can put on about half a pound to 1.5 pounds of muscle naturally a month. And that number is largely influenced by genetics and training experience. Which is why I personally believe growing muscle is a lot harder than losing fat or weight, because it takes a lot longer and we are naturally capped at how much we can gain. When you're first starting out in the gym, you can literally make eye contact with the dumbbell and you will just blow up. So your gains in muscle growth will be on the higher end of the spectrum when you first start out within the first 2 to 4 months. This is what we call newbie gains, but as you get more experience, that rate drastically reduces. But as somebody who's put on 30-ish pounds for the past 2 odd years, I only started to see some major visual differences after putting on 10 to 15 pounds. And this took me about 6 to 8 months to accomplish. Now, this number could vary between person to person because I'm 6'1" tall and I have a much bigger frame to fill out. But still, if you do the math, Minimum, you guys should be giving yourself at least 6 months, preferably 8 to 12 months, especially if you're a taller person. But more importantly, by giving yourself this time range, it allows you to stay a lot more consistent, because even during the times when you think you're not making any visual progress, but in reality you're actually improving in your weights in the gym, that just tells you and myself that you are putting on muscle. It just takes some time. Which leads me into my final and third point, and that is getting stronger through progressive overload. Another term you've probably heard about a million times, but for good reason, because this is what drives muscle growth. And the thing I hear most from people is that I don't want to lift heavy because I don't want to get bulky. Well, son, if it were that easy, I'm pretty sure everybody would be walking around like C-Bum right now. Like I mentioned earlier, your body is amazing at adapting itself. So when you keep doing the same rep range for the same amount of sets, for the same amount of intensity, you will stop seeing progress, because now your body's adapted itself, and now this is the level playing field and its new norm. The same way when you first started, you could do anything you want and your body would see changes because it's a new stimulus. When you've been doing the same stimulus for a longer period of time, it just adapts itself. So in order to grow it further, you got to change the stimulus, correct? And there are a couple of ways you could do that. You could either increase the weight, you could either increase the reps, or you could do more sets, or you could decrease the rest time. Whatever strategy you go for, depending on what's most comfortable for you, what's most feasible for you without hurting yourself, and what level of training experience you're at, whichever one you choose, you will be getting stronger in some way. But ideally for most people, they stick to one or two, which is either increasing the weight or increasing the reps. Now you can't do both simultaneously. So you got to choose which one you're going for. So let's look at a quick example. Let's say on week 1, you were doing 100 pounds on the bench for 3 sets of 5. So a way to progress this is by going into week 2 by doing 100 pounds on the bench press for 3 sets of 6 or 7. Now week 3 could look something like 105 pounds on the bench press for 3 sets of 5 again. So you see, once we increase the reps and we get to a certain level, then we increase the weight and then decrease the reps until we get comfortable at the new weight while we increase the reps, and then we increase the weight again. It is that simple, guys, and this is what eventually drives muscle growth in the long run, especially in the gym. So I hope you guys took something away from this video, and rather than me just shouting at your face saying eat more or train harder, I think the best way to go about things, especially when it comes to muscle growth, is giving you more tactical exercises and giving you more tactical solutions that you can start implementing today if you wanted to, which I would much rather prefer. So if you did take something away from this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, guys. Every little bit of support helps me out a lot, and I love making these types of videos to help you guys, educate you guys. So stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.